I love listening to all kinds of metal music, but this genre also has some of the worst tropes when it comes to songwriting. These are just some of the ones that really grind my gears, and they only get worse the further we get in. But let's start with an easy one, gent riffing. Now, I'm honestly a fan of quite a few bands that fit under this style, so there's nothing wrong with the approach in and of itself, but seriously, a lot of y'all need to stop sounding exactly alike. It's gotten to the point where a lot of this current wave's guitar work becomes droning noise that my ears more or less filter out completely. Like seriously, that Monuments album had some solid vocal moments, but I can't remember a single riff from it even after multiple listens.
What's the point of using the rest of the strings?
And I know this is an unpopular take, but without Courtney's vocals, Spiritbox's Eternal Blue becomes a seriously mid-release.
Well, then everyone loses their minds!
There are still bands like Darko, Animals as Leaders, and Within the Ruins who know how to spin this style into unique and creative gold, but they're like the 1% in a sea of copy-paste mediocrity. Just put some effort into your songwriting, people. On a somewhat related note, let's talk about obligatory generic breakdowns. Look, I love a good breakdown, but it's gotten to the point again where bands put them into songs just because they seem to feel obligated to do so. Deathcore is definitely the biggest offender here, with Lorna Shore particularly bringing it to attention this year. And even though I don't have a problem with reaction content, I think a sad byproduct is that we're almost crafting songs for the over-animated stank face breakdown reactions at this point. The result is a lot of bland, paint-by-numbers moments that honestly do nothing for me. In fact, breakdowns are pretty much the easiest part of any no headbang challenge videos at this point. Just like any other part of the song, I want some substance. Give me something that surprises me. Spice it up a little. I liked how disgusting the vocals got during To the Hellfire, but everything since then has been super meh. I like how bands like Brand of Sacrifice and To the Grave seem to really relish in making these parts really stand out in some way. And guys, it's okay to just not have a breakdown too if the song doesn't need it.
You need to leave!
Turning to lyrics, a good message does not equal good writing.
Welcome to the shit show, just another freak show. Hang your hat and hate at the door.
I get quite a few comments on a regular basis complaining about me criticizing songs or albums despite the fact that they be spitting the truth, bro. Out of all of these, I think the vast majority come from Five Finger Death Punch and Falling in Reverse fans and go something like, and riddled with spelling errors, I might add. Dude, you just don't get it, man. These sheeple need to wake up and this band is the only one doing it. Maybe you should take a minute to understand what they're trying to say. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was some big brain hidden message behind lyrics such as, dance, dance, motherfucker, till the fat bitch sings. You get 1 for the chamber, 2 for good health, know a little about evil and a lot about hell. Or, cause everybody's talking, bitch, oh no, they'll never let go of something you said 10 years ago. They're canceling you, and they won't stop till everybody's zombified. Yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure we can interpret the same clumsy metaphors that have been used for at least the last 60 years or so. And again, I don't even disagree with some of these messages, but if your writing and delivery is something I could have written in a middle school creative writing class, I'm gonna call you out for the trash that you're making. Also related are cries of, it's a concept album. Hey, concept albums can be great, but that's never an excuse if the music still sucks.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
Let's also talk a little bit about overused metaphors.
It was the best of times, it was the blurst of times, you stupid monkey!
Now there are so many things I could throw into this category, but just off the top of my head, referencing the darkness. Going to the darker side of the human condition is undoubtedly an important theme of the metal landscape, but we can just do a better job beyond succumb to the darkness or the darkness inside me. Been done, do better. I also have heard the whole idea of hiding behind a mask way too many times. Why can't you just leave me alone? I'm 6 feet deep, do or die, the world on my shoulders, I'm drowning, bite the hand that feeds, kill the pain. It's time to come up with some new ideas, fellas. And on a related but more serious note, we have to talk about glorifying self-harm and that other word YouTube doesn't like.
Yikes!
That's gonna be a fucking yikes from me. Holy shit.
First off, I work in mental health, so I'm gonna be the buzzkill and say right off the top, self-harm and SI are serious problems, and if you or someone you know needs help, there are tons of supports out there that can provide it. That said, I loathe hearing the continued glorification of cutting in music. It's not only extremely cringe, it's downright harmful. Now, I don't have a problem with addressing it as a topic, but once you start romanticizing it, I'm fucking done. The most recent example I can think of is Slipknot's Yen with the chorus, "As the knife goes in, cut across my skin, when the death begins, I want to know that I was dying for you, I died for you."
Cringe.
That's some 13 Reasons Why shit. And then I've already talked about Shining, which is just on another level with this garbage. Look, I'm not saying you can't write about this crap or that we should censor it. I'm the last person you want to talk to about trigger warnings and political correctness. Just know that if you do it, I'll think that you're an unoriginal hack. Similar notes for grade school level political takes.
2017 in a 40s trend with the racist president that's making everything great again.
Now let me be clear, I am not saying that metal can't be political. In fact, there are plenty of great songs and albums out there that are. But again, at the end of the day, music is art, and a real artist should bring a unique interpretation to social and political issues. Not just recycled hashtags and platitudes, which are tools of lazy, uninspired writing that caters to Twitter drones. And this applies to both left and right-leaning bands. Whether you're Straight from the Path, Motionless in White, Five Finger Death Punch, or Kid Rock, you're all cut from the same cringy cloth in my book. With songs like Goodnight, Alt-Right, Living the Dream, Red, White, and Boom, and Don't Tell Me How to Live, all inducing the same eye rolls.
No thought about tomorrow, just part of the machine, or so it seems.
Contrast that with something like the Callous Dowboys, where similar messages are portrayed through often extremely clever, unique metaphors and imagery that leave things more open to interpretation. You know, like art. Another one that's been grinding my gears, especially over the last 5 years or so, is fun bands going serious.
So here I am, I'm right back at it again, but I'm laying on the right hand, right now, to hell with all the Sunday, somehow.
I know things suck right now in a lot of different ways, but that's precisely why we need things that can make us laugh and smile. Just like I don't need Ethan Klein's take on abortion and immigration during his comedy podcast that I listen to for fun. Sorry, I really enjoy H3H3, and that has just been really annoying me. I don't need bands like A Day to Remember getting dour on me. There's already more than enough grim and depressing music out there to engage with the darkest of times, but I like to balance that out with things that give me joy and hope as well. Don't force it, but consider what purpose you can serve for humanity beyond just, we gotta talk about the issues. Some escapism and reminders of the positive are necessary for good mental health and are beneficial to progress in the long run. Now, I already gave the guitarists out there some grief, but now it's time for the vocalists with the Jarl.
Give me back my voice. It's my voice too.
You know, with how much people ragged on bands like Creed in the 90s and 2000s, you'd think that this vocal trend would have died off or at least been relegated to the butt rock section. But more and more, I hear it cropping up in metal music in increasingly annoying ways. It's probably like my most frequent complaint in reviews of albums I have not enjoyed this year. Machine Head has been tormenting ears with it for some time, but then even bands that didn't used to do it like Parkway Drive and even Venom Inc. are just ruining otherwise potentially good music by bringing it to the forefront of their sound. Look, there was only one true patron saint of the Jarl, and that was Lane Staley. Rest in peace to the king. Back to conceptual elements, let's talk about Satan.
It's not about them. It's all about me!
Now, there was a time where Satan served an important purpose in metal, to basically troll the uptight evangelical types who were trying to censor it. Especially in the 80s, metal looked at all these button-down squares and said, "Oh, you think we're dangerous," and then gave them the finger by introducing their kids to all things unholy. Great stuff. I approve. But nowadays, Satan has kind of lost his sheen. People are honestly pretty indifferent to things like the pentagram nowadays, so now when bands use the same imagery, it just feels like kind of a tired shtick. And that's especially true of try-hard black metal bands who still call out his names as if the reaction is going to be anything beyond.
Nobody cares.
Like anything else on this list, I can still appreciate satanic lyrics with a little bit more thought put into it, as with the likes of Deathspell Omega, but those examples are few and far between. Now, unfortunately, that desensitization has led to a new trend that's far worse. Some people have picked up on the fact that the devil just ain't enough to scare the straights anymore, but you know what does? A hefty dose of nationalism. Honestly, I don't even think most of these bands even believe in the racist and xenophobic ideas in their music. They just know that's what it takes these days to get Ken and Karen's panties in a twist. But the unfortunate end result is basically the 4chan cringe lords of the metal community, and make no mistake, these lyrics are beyond cringe. And these man-children crave the attention beyond all else, so the greatest insult you can give to make this stuff go away is actually to ignore it completely. Y'all check out this playlist for more fun videos, and let me know your least favorite metal tropes in the comments. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.